So here's what happens is we have a tendency to view life, for me, I have a tendency to view life right in front of me and to see, God, I know that you're working right here. And for each of these men, they have a tendency to view things right in front of them. So Eddie's viewing things right here, and each one of them is viewing things right in front of them. And what happens is we can see God working when he works right here. But when something bad happens in our area, we think that we're the only ones. We think the world revolves around me. And so I see something bad drop in the middle of this, and I say, wait a minute, that piece of the puzzle, that doesn't make sense with what I'm doing. But we don't see that God's interacting with other people as well. God's not just interacting with Eddie's piece of the puzzle. God's interacting above all of this with everybody. And so because of that, sometimes it means when I was young, I loved sports. I absolutely loved. I played every sport I knew. But my given sport was baseball. And I remember I used to love going to baseball games. I used to love going to baseball practices. In Florida over the summer, like 2 out of every 3 nights it was raining. And so I used to pray saying, God, please don't let it rain tonight. I want to go to baseball practice. And more times than not, that prayer wasn't answered the way that I wanted. And I'd be frustrated saying, God, I prayed like it's not supposed to rain. And what I was seeing right here for me. Not realizing that the rain was interacting with Rick and is interacting with Josh and with Eddie and with Greg, who's decided to join the party. And God's interacting with all of us. And I can only see my side, not realizing, man, there are other people. My picture is here. But there are other people whose livelihoods, man, there are farmers in our area, that their livelihood was based upon them having rain. There were other workers, and there were other people. There are people right now in third world countries that would love to have the rain that we do. Because for them, water was a source of life. But for 12-year-old JJ, all I knew is rain is canceling my baseball practice. Our present story only makes sense in light of a future narrative. And our present story only makes sense in light of other future and other present narratives. See, God's working in my life, but God's also working in other people's lives. And sometimes the very thing I'm praying for, because it would be to my advantage, is the same thing that another person is not praying for, they're praying against. And so sometimes, not always, sometimes, we struggle to figure out how does this piece of the puzzle fit, because all we see is our puzzle. But God says, man, there are other people that are in your life, and I'm interacting with them as well. I'm trying to make a difference in their life. And the challenging thing is we don't always see that, and so we struggle with that. Thank you guys so much for boldly volunteering.